Hello everyone out there in YouTube land, my name is Will, this is Will of the Nerds, and we're back with another deck tech video. And today we're going to do another Rakdos deck. It's going to be a vampire deck, so we're just going to jump in. This one is called Vampire Madness, if I can spell right. So, I don't think there's a whole lot of Madness cards in here. Madness is, I believe you can play it from your graveyard and then exile it. Oh, if you discard this card. Discard it in exile. When you do, cast it with its madness cost. Okay. So that's what it is. There's not a whole lot of madness cards in here. It's just there's more madness cards in this deck than any of the other vampire decks I have. But you know the drill. Especially if you've watched any of the other videos. We start with the land base first. So we have Cinder Barons to start with. So we have 2 Cinder Barons. We're just going to up that. We're just going to pick, what set are they from? These, I mean, there's one from Amonkhet and the other one's from Our Devastation. We'll just go with Amonkhet because that was the first one I saw. Okay, and then we have Bloodfell Caves. We have a play set of Bloodfell Caves. So we're going to drag that over, and they were all from the same set, which is Cons or whatever it is. Maybe? Fate Reforged. Around that same time, I believe. And then we can go in here. We need mountains. Let's look at how many mountains we have. I don't think there's a whole lot. It's probably split with the swamps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 mountains, and probably the same amount of swamps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. And all of these cards are organized already. I thought I've played this deck before, but I must not have. Either that or I pulled some extra cards and I was fixing this deck up. But the first card we have is Butcher of Malakir. So we're gonna do 2 of them over here, and you are from one's from the commander set and one's from the other set. So let's do that. Bring the other one over. Bring the other one over. There we go. And then the other one is from that. And I apologize if you can hear my dogs in the background. They're trapped in a living room barking at each other, so you're probably going to hear them every now and then. So I do apologize for that. Oh, okay. So next we have Launch Party. Lunch Party, I mean. No, Launch Party. I am excited for the new, the D&D Beyond, whatever. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, and it's starting to bug me because I know what it is. Yeah, can't remember. Sorry, but I'm excited for the new D&D set that's coming out for Magic. As an additional cost to cast, Launch Party, sacrifice a creature, destroy target creature, its controller loses 2 life. So a lot of these vampire decks that I have are kind of the same. They're meant to just do damage. Like, they're vampires. They're taking your life. Alright, next we have Incorrigible Youth. So, is it down here? Nope. Okay, let's keep typing in. INCORR. Alright, there we go. There we go. They are both from Shadows over Innistrad. Oh, let's go over these cards. Like, I'm a little distracted. I don't think I went over Butcher of Malakir. When it dies, when this or another creature you control dies, each opponent sacrifices a creature. I think we went over Launch Party. We did. And Incorrigible Youth is haste, and this has madness. And the next card we have is Stensia Banquet. So we have 2 of them, and you're going to have to apologize. There's going to be a bit of an edit here. I got to go shut the dogs up. So this deals damage to target opponent equal to the number of vampires you control, and you draw a card, which I really like the card draw. I don't have a lot of decks that have card draw. I really need to make that a thing more. Okay, I apologize for that, everyone. I had to go tell the dogs to shut up, and it seems like I might have another cut here in a few minutes. So we have Crossway Vampire for the next card, and it looks like this is old Innistrad. And I think they're going back to Innistrad here at the end of the year. So, okay, this is a common card. When it enters the battlefield, target creature can't block this turn. Okay, so you get a little of that in there, which is nice. Okay, so Twin of Maurier Estate, which this card has Madness. I basically pulled all the cards I had with Madness in it and put them in this deck. Some of them are eh. I didn't put play sets of them in here. I think I did have play sets of some stuff, and I was like, I have other vampires that just work better. And this is all it has. It's a Madness for 3/5. You can do that, pay it for its Madness cost, and play it a little cheaper. Okay. Now we have Vicious Conquistador for 2. Okay, yeah, that's separated. I was like, why do I have one Butcher Malakir? I have 2, but it's because I have one from different sets. All right. When it attacks, each opponent loses 1 life. So, granted, there's not a whole lot of rare cards in here. I think, yeah, Butcher Malakir so far is the only rare card in this deck. Okay, so now we have Weirded Vampire for 2. And this is Eldritch Moon. Let's take a look. This has Madness. Actually need to take that up one. Okay, and then we have the OG Vampire here. Sangir Vampire. Because why not? He should be in like every vampire deck. Even if it's just 1 copy. He's the OG Vampire. This guy's been, as you can see, printed into oblivion. I have him from 14. He used to be a rare, as you could tell. But he doesn't do anything special. When a creature dealt damage by Sangir, a vampire this turn dies, put a +1/+1 counter on him. I mean, it's decent, but it doesn't really, that effect doesn't really happen too often. I don't think I've ever really had it go off too much. Like, I think this one? No, not Autocrat. Sangir Nosferatu? There's one of these. I think the Dark Baron I've had go off a good bit, and there's another one that's kind of like that I had go off a little bit. But I haven't really had him take off. So we have Falcon Wrath Noble for a 2 of. And what are you from? You are from the Duel deck. Alright, let's take a look. Flying, when this or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So this isn't a very, as of right now, it's not a very strong vampire deck, if I had to say. Like, this is a pretty weak vampire deck, if I'm being honest about it. Because we've had a lot of commons and uncommons. Some stuff that doesn't, it doesn't a whole lot. When this enters the battlefield, tap target land an opponent controls. That land doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. So, like, there's a little bit of control stuff in here, but... okay, so there's another... Okay, so we're getting into some rare cards. But as of right now, it's just kind of like a mediocre vampire deck. So we have Keru Bloodsucker. And that's what? Khans of Tarkir? Khans of Tarkir. Alright, let's take a look at what this does. Whenever a creature you control with toughness 4 or greater dies, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Sacrifice another creature, put a +1/+1 counter on this. I don't think there's a whole lot of cards in here that are 4/4s or 4 or greater. So that one is probably the throwaway card in the set. I think it was just put in here because I needed another vampire and it was a vampire. That could go good in a bunch of other decks, but not this one. Okay, so now we have Sangromancer. And They're from different sets. So this one is from Conspiracy, and the other one is from a Commander set. If I can find them now. There we go. The other one, what Commander set are you from? 17. Okay. All right, let's look here. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you gain 3 life. Whenever an opponent discards a card, you gain 3 life. So, I have another deck that this could probably work in, to where when they discard a card. So I do have like a discard deck that is in the process of being made. So that one would be good to go in it. Fiend of the Shadows. We have 2 of. They are both from the same set. All right. Dark Ascension. Fiend of the Shadows. Flying, whenever Fiend of the Shadows deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles a card from his or her hand. You may play that card for as long as it remains exiled. Sacrifice a human, regenerate this. There's no humans in this deck, so the regenerate is completely useless. But that second ability is where it's at. That's the reason it's in there, I suppose. So, yeah, it has to do damage. So this card has to do damage specifically. But I mean, you're exiling a card and you can play a card. There's also another deck I've been thinking of that could go into. Alright, so now we have Falcon Wrath Gorger. I think I remember getting this at the pre-release for this card, actually. Alright, so let's look here. Each vampire creature card you own that isn't on the battlefield has madness. The madness cost is equal to its mana cost. If you discard a card, okay, so yeah, that's not on the battlefield. So this is why it's my vampire madness deck, because this just gives them all madness. So I can pay them cheaper and get them out on the battlefield cheaper. Some of them I can get out cheaper. Some of them, they're just going to be their mana cost. So, all right. So Blood Husk Ritualist is the next one I have. Is this World Wake or it's Commander? It's Commander, and it has a multi-kicker, so you could pay black any amount of times. And enters the battlefield. Target opponent discards a card for each time it was kicked. Again, I'm gonna have to throw these in my discard deck. Raider's Wake with this card, and the other card is just absolute discard is what I need. Okay, so now we have Anuan, the Ruin Sage. Okay, they're both from different sets. One's from Commander and one's from World Wake. Alright. Let's look here. At the beginning of our upkeep, each player sacrifices a non-vampire creature. So that helps control the board a little bit if you can get him out. Alright, so we have 4 cards left. We have Ciro, Mind Eater. And they're both from the Commander set. So let's look here. Ciro, Mind Eater. Menace, when it deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles a card from his or her hand face down. You may look at and play cards exiled with Ciro, Mind Eater. Again, this is another card that can go in a few decks that I have or want to make. Alright, and then we have Victim of the Night. Oops, I guess I can't spell victim right. Victim of... Still can't spell victim right. There we go. And this is basically just a murder spell for vampires. So, I think it's killed... Yeah, there we go. If it'll click. Destroy target non-vampire, non-werewolf, non-zombie creature. So, basically, any non-dark thing that's on Innistrad. Alright, so we can save this. And we can hit OK. We've got 4 instants, 2 sorceries, 32 creatures, and 22 lands. You can look at the details here. And it's a $20 deck. Okay, so that's not bad. That's pretty cheap. $1.49 for this Sangromancer. So that's... Oh, nope. Anawan Sage. $3. That's your most expensive card. That's still not terrible for $20. It's actually going to be less than that because, again, my whole spiel with lands, don't pay for lands. You know. You get it. If you've watched any of my videos before, don't pay for lands. Alright. There's the visual spoilers again. And then we can go to the starting hand here. And we can see how the game's going to go. So start with Cinder Barrens. Add another card. We can play a mountain. And we can play a few things. Let's just play... Let's play that. And then... Okay, so let's... Deals damage to the... Yeah, let's hold on to that one. Okay, so the next thing we can do is maybe play that. Just to get a card out. Swing in for 2. Okay, so now we have this. I mean, this might work. You can tap down maybe the only creature they have and swing in for 4. So that's 6 damage. Okay, let's say you still got your creatures here. I say you play this, tap down their lands. And, like, you could swing in with these ones. Chances are they'll probably block with one. They'll probably block this one. And you're still going to get 4 damage through. So that's 16 down to, what, 12? Excuse me. And this gives them madness. I would maybe just play that to do 3 damage. Do 3 damage. Because chances are one of these is dead, and then swing in. And you can play this, your other land. So 3 damage down to 9 life. Your opponent's down to 9 life. You have 4 mana. Or, okay, so I would play this. That way, if any of your stuff dies, you're going to do 1 damage, and you're going to gain 1 damage. And I would just swing with everything that's available. So let's say this one died. You have all of these. They're probably going to block your 3/3. So if anything dies, they're going to lose 1 life for taking. So they're going to like 6 life, let's say. I would maybe... Do you want to discard a card? I would... Do we have enough mana for this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'd play that with your haste and just attack with everything again. And I apologize for my dog in the background yipping. But you can swing with everything there. And that should probably get you the game. That actually went a lot quicker. But like you got to get through other people too. So like you have the mana to play everything now except for Sangir Vampire. So like you could play that. Might as well. Yeah, and then play that next turn with a haste. And you should be able to overrun them by now. And that does it for this video. There's your probabilities for everything. So if you guys could please like, subscribe, share, hit that bell icon. That way you get notified every time I upload a new video. You can follow me over on Facebook and Twitter. The links to those are in the description. And with that, I'll see you guys on the next one.